Welcome to Cali's Take. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe. Also hit the notification bell so you can get the newest content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. You know, there's a lot of trade talk, a lot of trade speculation around the Clippers, especially ever since Kawhi has, expressed how he feels about the trading situation and what possibly the Clippers should look for based upon the speculation that we've seen or that we've heard. And that's what we go by. But at the same time, you have to look at it like this. The Clippers, the trade for Mike Conley is probably highly unlikely, specifically because when you think about it and you look at it, I found one of my sources I was reading. You can check them out. You can actually go. As a matter of fact, just Google it. It's several sources that you can see about Mike Conley trade. But just reading my sources and things like that, and then putting two and two together. The fact that Mike Conley might require a trade from the Clippers along with a first pick, in which I believe Utah is asking for, or one of the Clippers picks. I don't think the Clippers are going to do that. I mean, I think that's very highly unlikely. If they, if I don't know how many picks they have specifically, but if they give up a pick along with maybe a valuable player to give to Utah to get Mike Conley back, who really doesn't have probably, that many years left. Even though, of course, it's all about, the Clippers trying to win it this year. I don't know if the Clippers are willing to go through with that. Mike Conley he's worth a lot, though, because I will say, like I said, his IQ is good. He plays well. And like I say, he doesn't turn the ball over. And, he's a pass first guy. He doesn't mind being a pass first guy. So that's always, a plus to have a guy like that on your team. But for the most part, the Clippers seem to be more interested in the Fred VanVleet trade that was reported by me and a lot of others. But the reason why I feel like more so the Fred VanVleet, because Toronto is probably not going to hassle the Clippers and ask for much back, because Toronto pretty much they know where they are. They know, they're a middle of the pack team, at best, and they're really not, contending for no championships or anything like that. Utah, on the other hand, they feel like they're a pretty, decent team in the West, and which they surprised a lot of people this year. But they feel like they're a pretty decent team in the West, and they want something really good in return that can make them, much better, even more of a contender to go against, the Clippers if they face them in a 7-game series. Now, as I said before, I just don't think the Clippers are going to bite on that because, first of all, you don't want to give up too much to your competition, because hypothetically, if they had to play them in the playoffs and hypothetically they gave them somebody like Luke Kennard and Marcus Morris, for some type of crazy reason that can, come back on the Clippers or something like that. If they made a trade like that, it's just hypothetically, not saying they would make a trade like that, but I'm just saying, it would just be awkward. So I don't believe the Clippers would actually trade, go all out for, Mike Conley, because that is their competition in the West. And like I said, they might have to play them in a 7-game series possibly. So they don't want to give up too much to them to give them the upper hand. So the Clippers are more like on the downside of trying to give teams, a couple of their young players, maybe with some picks that they might have. And, maybe they might deal Marcus Morris. I'm not even really sure about that at this point. Because I've heard, some speculation about that. I just haven't spoken on it much because I really don't have much facts on it, or I should say more solidified information on that to provide. So it's like it's just kind of like hit or miss with that situation to me. But regardless, the Clippers are really not trying to give up too much to get something in return. And I feel like that's a good strategy, but, it can be a costly strategy because, teams might not bite on that, especially if you're looking for a specific position, which the Clippers are in regards to that point guard situation, along with the big man center position too. I believe they might definitely be, still interested in that. They just might not have much, avenues, in regards to that at the moment. But the point guard position is, vitally important. And, really the Clippers, either way, if they got Mike Conley or Fred VanVleet. Either way, I feel like the Clippers would gain, you know what I'm saying? Because Mike Conley, like I said, he plays the game the right way. He understands, the game of basketball from a different perspective, and he's really crafty. But like I said, he's a pass-first guy. He doesn't mind passing the ball. He will, put up some shots. He will knock down big shots. He doesn't, he does have a jump shot, and he's not somebody you want to leave wide open, at times, because he can definitely, put the ball in the basket. But my point, there is, like I said, even with Fred VanVleet, he's a guy that's won a championship. He run a championship with Kawhi Leonard at that. So, I mean, the comfortability of knowing that, the Clippers have a guy like that in their locker room, if they were able to get Fred VanVleet, that would be, very comforting for them because, like I said, you're adding another championship DNA player to your roster that's adding more championship DNA. And like I said, Fred VanVleet, he might not have that much left in some people's eyes, but he's still, to me, this might be not one of his best seasons, but he's still a very good six man off the bench. And I'm telling you, you can count on him. I mean, even if whether he's in the starting lineup or not, Fred VanVleet is going to produce. That's just the way it is. Like, he's just one of those players. And we saw the shots he hit in the finals against the Golden State Warriors, when Kawhi and him was on the Raptors. I mean, he hit some big shots in the finals. So he's definitely not afraid of the moment and fearless. So that right there gives, you got to give him the upper hand. You got to give him the upper hand for that. But either way, like I said, the Clippers wouldn't go wrong either way if they're able to get, either one of these players. Now, I know some of you might believe they don't even need a point guard, maybe just roll with PG. And that's how you feel. I respect that. I do. I just definitely think they need a traditional point guard who can, take a little bit more stress off of PG and maybe Reggie Jackson or whoever they decide to trade or keep or, however that may go who in that point guard position. But if they do go through with it, like I said, I mean, of course, probably John Wall definitely will probably get dealt unless it's some type of, contractual issues, but I don't think it would be at all. So they definitely would offer John Wall. But the thing is, I don't know if teams really would want to take John Wall at this point. And I think that's another standstill I feel like the Clippers might have. John Wall is injured for them right now currently, and he wasn't playing that much. And the time that a lot of us saw him on the court, we wasn't really that impressed. And, like I said, your stock has to stay the same or go up, each year, I'm saying, each season. And right now, John Wall's stock is really not that high. So, they would have to probably add John Wall with, like I said, another young player and maybe a pick or something like that. And, teams would take it, but if they're not, adding somebody else with John Wall in the trade, of course, whatever point guard they try to pursue or whatever deal they really, feel highly, more, comfortable with the most, which I believe is the Fred VanVleet deal. It's like I said, they can't go wrong with either one, but what they're trying to offer, I don't know if either team really wants that. Like I said, I don't know what John Wall, I don't know what Toronto thinks John Wall could do for them if they, like I said, hypothetically, if they traded John Wall and stuff like that and maybe added a player and a pick, which I feel like that's what teams are looking for. I don't know what the Clippers are going to do there in that situation. I mean, it's very possible, they can stay steady, but, it's also very likely that they can go through with that Fred VanVleet deal, especially with, more talks and between the two teams are being discussed and everything like that. And kind of like the Mike Conley deal seemed a little like dim right now, specifically based upon what Utah is asking for. So we'll just have to see what happens, and leave any comments in the comment section, about this. We can definitely talk about it and, go back and forth with it because I definitely, want to see, if this trade deadline is going to, favor the Clippers in regards to them getting somebody, or they're just going to stay steady and go with what they have because Kawhi is just, on fire right now, just going at everybody for the most part. And, right now they're playing pretty good. But hey, that's my take on everything. As I said, leave any comments in the comment section. Check my other videos if you haven't. And hey, till next time.